Yes, I do consent to being recorded.
I didn't ask for a consent.
So usually we record on Thursday nights, but I had a bit of a prior engagement, and it kind of went off the rails. And the reason why I didn't give you a heads up was because I thought that I was gonna be done with it by the time we were gonna record. What I did not count on was the fact that I was going to be absolutely plastered.
I was gonna say, you texted me like, "I'm sorry, man, I'm so drunk," and the thing is, you didn't just drunk text me; the words were misspelled a bit.
Yeah, that's when you know that I'm really drunk, and I'd like to show you how drunk I was.
Show me.
So I bought this bottle for that night. I started right here, and this is where I ended up. This is for our listeners. This is 60% of the bottle that I drank that night
by himself. What's the brand?
It's Jose Cuervo Especial Tequila, and it is.
What's the ounce?
It's 35%.
You drank, but what are the ounces? Like what's the measurement of it?
990 millimeters.
Folks, he drank half of that.
Yeah. Just with this, and I chased it with mineral water. And
what the can I ask what the fuck you were doing?
Yes, you can. We were watching the Game Awards, the Video Game Awards for 2021, and we made a drinking game out of it.
Okay.
We were drinking. Let me read you the list. Have you ever seen the Game Awards?
I don't think so. Like I don't.
Okay.
I'm not in no. I barely ever watch the Oscars because they're pretty much circle jerking each other, so I don't really pay attention that much to them.
Oh, the Game Awards are no different. But yeah, so
who won Game of the Year?
It Takes Two.
Have I heard of that one?
Probably not. It Takes Two is a wonderful video game that you and your wife would love to play because it's forcefully playable as co-op, so you can only play with another person.
So even if you wanted to play by yourself, you can't.
You cannot. You have to play with another person.
That kind of blows, but okay.
No, it's awesome because it's about this little girl and her parents are getting a divorce, and so she makes these little dolls of like her dad and her mom. And the dolls, the parents' souls kind of get attached to these dolls, and now they have to work together to like return. So it's nice. It's really nice. That one Game of the Year, and it was pretty wonderful. But we made a drinking game out of it, and I'm gonna read you exactly what we did. So we were gonna drink. If the host, his name is Jeff Keighley. He hosts every year, and he always wears a very nice suit with very expensive sneakers. So we were like, one sip if Jeff Keighley is wearing a suit alongside some expensive looking sneakers. One sip if Jeff Keighley enthusiastically says the word sick while presenting. One sip if tall vampire lady, Resident Evil lady is somehow involved in anything. One sip if any Persona announcement. One sip if the Activision Blizzard controversy is addressed. One drink every time there is a world premiere. One drink every time a trailer is not reflective of the game engine. One drink every time they say exclusive. Two drinks every time there is a non-gaming related sideshow or host. We chug, finish our drinks if any mobile game is mentioned. We chug, finish our drink if Todd Howard appears. One chug, finish our drinks if Breath of the Wild gets a sequel name. And three chugs if we all collectively cringe. I got fucking plastered based on just the world premieres, okay? Because it was insane.
How many world premieres were there?
Too many. They announced the Halo movie trailer, so that was kind of fun.
Wait, Halo now has a movie trailer?
Yeah. So that the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer came out.
I heard about that one actually.
Yeah. The child vampire Resident Evil lady won best performance in a video game.
I'm shocked.
No, I was not. The Activision Blizzard controversy was addressed, although not by name. They just said, "Oh, we need to do better" and shit like that. There was a Persona announcement, so I was happy with that. No Zelda announcement, sadly. So those were the Game Awards, and it was kind of fun. I kind of crashed by the end. Yeah.
Real quick, which is the Blizzard controversy? Because aren't there like 10 of them? Like, what's the latest one?
Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is.
Moving on.
Moving on to movies.
Thank you for welcoming us onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chema. And
this is the
rollback.
Chema,
I have two questions for you.
Sure.
No, you go first.
No, you first. You first.
No, you first.
No,
you hang up. No, you hang up.
Hey, no, it looks like we have a good old-fashioned Canadian standoff here.
Okay. No, you go first. I always talk. You go first.
No, I was just gonna say I think I fucked up when I saw this movie.
Why?
So I saw it alone. I got to see it by myself in the theater by myself. Not another soul was in sight because I went at 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Like not even Nikki wanted to go. She was like, "It's too late. Like I work tomorrow." I'm like, "Me too," but okay. Here's the thing.
What was the thing?
I have never seen any of the other Ghostbusters movies.
Ooh.
So I had questions and I had no one to ask. And I'm sure there was a lot of shit in this movie that would make a fan pop. I didn't though, because I couldn't, because I didn't know what the fuck was happening. When they're like the temple, I'm like, I think that's from the first one. I think I've seen parts of that. And then they're like, oh, the ghost that's not really male and or female, Gozar. I'm just like, pretty sure that's the villain from the first one.
Yeah.
Are you a god? I think that's from the like. I missed a lot of shit. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of fan service for fans of the original. And here's the thing: I saw it, and before literally the day that we were gonna watch it, I took my sister to see this new one, and she told me I've never seen. She's only seen the last one, the one they made with Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and so forth.
Okay.
Which I thought was honestly fine. It's a fine movie. I think it's okay. As you said, I've never seen the original one. So I said, how about this? Let's watch the original, just the first one, and then we'll go watch the new one. And she said, okay. So we watched the original one, and she's never seen it, so it was kind of cool to see someone else see it for the first time. And it's great. The original Ghostbusters is great. It's funny. There's a reason why it's a classic. So we go see this new one, and there's a lot of things that, because I hadn't seen the original one in like 3-4 years, I'm so glad I rewatched it before seeing this one, because I got so many of the jokes, so many of the references, so many of the callbacks. But I think this one also kind of stands on its own. I think it was, I'll be straight up. I love this movie. I really like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I thought the callbacks were good. I think this is like the equivalent of Force Awakens to Star Wars. It's got a lot of callbacks, but also it's a nice, smaller retelling of the story, while also, I think, being its own thing.
I actually made that reference when I did my video review. I said this feels like a Force Awakens situation.
Yeah.
Where there's a bunch of callbacks, but they're trying to establish some new characters for a potential sequel.
I don't think so. I think this is a one and done.
I don't know, man. I never trust that it's a one and done, ever. There's too much money to be made.
Which is weird, because I don't think this movie's making a lot of money. I think it's just it's kind of a niche thing, like weirdly. But
I believe it has made some money at the box office. I want to say it crossed the $250 million mark. I know that for sure.
Okay.
And I believe it was only like 150, maybe.
My big thing with this movie is that I think by the end, it really, at least to me, by the end, it really got me in the feels. Like it did a lot of things that really got to me. And both in the movie and like in the production of the movie, there's a lot of things that I think hit you in the feels. Like, are you aware of the fact of who's directing this?
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. The original Ghostbusters was directed by Ivan Reitman, who is a well-known director. He did both he did both Ghostbusters. He did Animal House, Meatballs, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Dave Jr. He's done like a lot of these movies. Okay, and this movie is directed by his son, Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman has directed movies like Juno, Thank You for Smoking, Up in the Air. He did Men, Women, and Children. So he's a well-known newer director, but he's his son. So the fact that this is a movie about family passing down a legacy, and the fact that it's his son directing it, that's enough to get you in the feels, I think.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so there's like a history there. And I was kind of concerned when they said that Jason Reitman was going to do it, because he's a good director. I really like his movies, but he's never done action and he's never done franchise. Like all his movies are kind of dialogue based.
Each one and done.
Yeah. Not only one shots, but they're more movies that are like dramas. You know, he did Young Adult. He did Up in the Air, Juno. Like these are smaller films that are more focused on characters. So I went, what the hell is he gonna do with a Ghostbusters movie? Like, he's probably gonna scale it down, and that's exactly what he did. Weirdly enough, Jason Reitman really works for a movie like this, because it doesn't need to be big or chaotic. They don't need to destroy New York City. It's just in this little town, in this ranch, and the fact that they're focusing on like the drama specifically, I think really works.
Well, they didn't have I don't know. It's a bit odd because in the first one you have, 4 dudes that you're talking to, 4 dudes that are doctors, professors in their field, as I understand it. It's a different kind of environment. You have different conduits to work with. In this one, you're working with a family setting. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but because I think I'm going to assume you know more about the production of this film than I do. The actor that played was it Spangler or Strangler?
Egon Spengler, yeah.
Yeah. So
Harold Ramis, yeah.
So the actor that played him, did he pass away fairly recently? Like, was he supposed to be in the film, or
he passed away like in 2014, I think.
So do you think that was kind of the germ that like kickstarted the idea for this one?
No, I think because look, technically there is a Ghostbusters 3. It's the video game. They made a video game, and like they wrote it. They did the voiceover, they did the mocap. So like there is like Ghostbusters 3 if you want it. Like it exists. But then he passed away, and they were like, okay, I guess we're just not gonna do any Ghostbusters things related anymore. Because not only was he one of the 4, he was one of the 2 co-writers of the script.
Yeah.
So him and Dan Aykroyd, who's Ray, the other Ghostbuster. So if you see the original, he's my favorite. Okay, he's my favorite out of the 4.
Oh,
because he you got it?
Yeah, no, I know. No, just to mark. Sorry, go.
Okay, yeah. So he's my favorite out of the 4. I love Bill Murray. I tolerate Dan Aykroyd. But Harold Ramis was a fucking comedic genius. Okay, not only he was a screenwriter, he was also a director, and he played Egon Spengler beautifully. He's kind of the heart of the Ghostbusters. He's so like cynical and kind of cold, and he would say like this very cold, directed lines, and he would be so devoid of sarcasm. But he was weirdly so funny. Like there's this great scene where the secretary tells him like, "Oh, I love to read. I love to print. I also play racquetball. Do you have any hobbies?" And he just goes, "I collect I collect molds and fungus," and then he just leaves. Like he was just really funny. So he was my favorite out of the 4, and it hurt when he passed away. So when the movie starts and they have this actor that either they physically did something or something. Reitman has been clear that he doesn't want to talk about how they did the effect, because he said like I just let's not talk about it. Like I don't want to discuss how he did the effect. But whoever they cast at the start of the movie to play like an older version of him looks stupidly like him. Like it's incredible how much he looks like him. Okay, so I thought that was kind of awesome. Now him passing away, I think they did the opposite. I think him passing away was more of like, okay, let's just not do anything anymore. Like, let's just keep the legacy like that. But the fact that they did that, it could have gone really wrong. I think it was done respectfully.
I think it was done with love. I think chiefly. One thing I don't even have to see the other films to know that this movie was made with love and affection. This movie wasn't made as like a cash grab or with corporate greed. It was made in such a manner where it was out of respect or like love for the franchise. But that kind of explains it. The director was the son of the original director. Like it makes even more sense now. Um, yeah, it was odd, and it's crazy because in this film they present Spangler in such a manner where he's the crazy recluse, and we all know how that story goes. The crazy recluse has a point, always, always. But no, this reminds me a bit of I thought it was a Paul Walker situation with Fast and Furious 7, where like a death means a pivot, and I thought they did a really good job with this. Like this was like a love letter almost to the franchise. But now it kind of again it explains with the people who are involved. I want to talk about real quick about Miss McKenna Grace. That girl did an amazing job. Like fuck, like I think I remember Franny made a point saying that child actors were better in like the 70s and 80s and 90s. And I want to make a point. I think we're back to that golden period between the Stranger Things kids, not just the one that was in this movie, but in general. Between Cobra Kai and a few other things, like and her, like no, I think we're in a new golden age of like child actors.
I think she's setting a standard on her own because like I have seen her in a lot of things, but the thing is that she's the actress that they always get when they're like, okay, we need to have this, we need to show this character when they were younger. Because like she's Captain Marvel when she's a kid. She's I, Tonya, Margot Robbie when she's a kid. She's
Really?
at the beginning of what's it called, of Malignant. That's her.
Really?
Yeah. She's the girl from The Haunting of Hill House. Like she's the girl in Annabelle Comes Home. Yeah, she's been on like all these things, and she's always in it for like a second or for like a little bit. Like I think Annabelle Comes Home being like her larger part. So I knew who she was, but I've never been like, okay, like what's so cool about her? I am on the McKenna Grace hype train, like right now. Like she was awesome in this. Like she captured Egon's like spirit so well. Like you truly believe that she's her like granddaughter.
Yeah.
When the movie started, like I know who McKenna Grace was, but like in my mind, she's like this blonde little girl. So when she shows up, I showed to my sister. I'm like, "Where's McKenna Grace?" And she goes like, "That's McKenna Grace." I'm like, "That's McKenna," like because like she has like the hair and like the glasses. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
go ahead. She talks just like him. Like not only her voice, but like the little voice inflections and the way that she would express herself. It's so Egon. Like it is like she studied the hell out of Egon. Like and she was great. I thought she was awesome. Every scene that she's in, she just manages to be both really good as like her own character, but also as like a representation of this other character without being like a copy and paste kind of thing. Because she's great when she's by herself, but she's also great when she's interacting with like the podcast kid or like with the brother or with Paul Rudd or with the mom. Like she manages to balance out both the humor and the emotional scenes, and she's the heart of this movie in the same way that Egon is the heart of the original Ghostbusters. The movie, honestly, you could remove the other two kids and she works just by herself.
She does. She really does.
Yeah, but they really pad out everything around her, and I think she really works. I think she's awesome. I cannot wait to see how she's going to follow this up.
She's building a very impressive filmography for herself. Then,
yeah.
This movie, Paul Rudd, I'm so glad he wasn't the star. I was expecting him to take the lead. He works in the very limited role that they give him, and it's perfect and it's fun.
Yeah, he's the kind of teacher that like you wish you had. Like he's cool.
What are you watching today, kids? Child's Play. Yeah, it was fun. What did you think of like the world? They did some minor world building in it, or I guess like world tweaking. Because like they mentioned how like the Ghostbusters happened. Like there's no like debate. Like YouTube, they have the videos of them fighting ghosts. But slowly over time, everything kind of petered away. Did you think that was... Well, how did you feel about that? I actually really liked it.
Me too. I think it made sense. Like they eventually just like fizzled out. Like okay, like they said like we captured ghosts. We did it a little too good and then just ran out of a job.
Yeah.
which makes sense. Like that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of didn't love the scene where like she calls him on the phone and Ray answers, because I feel like it diminished the cameo at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But in the context, I guess it works. It kind of let Aykroyd kind of work on the drama of it all, but it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I did like how they explain like, oh, you know, he returned to academia, he went and did this, he went and did that.
Mm-hmm.
It was emotional enough. This movie was like 2 hours, and the original is only like an hour and 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it never feels. I never felt tired watching this. It never
It
felt
never
like
felt draggy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was never a scene where I was like, just get to the ghost. Like, no, I was enjoying every second. Like, I like how they managed to balance out both the drama and the comedy in this,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's both things. It's both really funny and like the drama is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a funny scene, not really haha funny, but made me chuckle a bit when they were going through the countdown of like, you know, the hell that's gonna come. And
Yeah.
they're like 1945, and they all look at each other. What the fuck didn't happen during 1945 next year? And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's funny. I can appreciate that. And the whole countdown sequence. That temple though. So can you explain something to me? Because I didn't know. I don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
That temple, wasn't it in the original Ghostbusters? The thing like where
Kind of.
does it just like appear, or like is there an origin story behind it, or what?
It's just in Sigourney Weaver's refrigerator. Like one day she just shows up to her apartment. She opens the fridge door and it's there. And then they mentioned that it's because of the building. Like it like it's where the building was like built.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like something in that floor, like at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a lore, a backstory. It's just this ghost here. Like like there didn't need to be like, you know, big whole explanation. And in this one, they kind of give it to it, but it doesn't feel like overexposure of an explanation. It's just, there's ghosts. Like, like, yeah. And the setting helps. I think the fact that it's like in a small town, like that could easily be like a small town in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah. No, for real. For real. The action scenes were pretty good though. I think, especially in the small town setting, lent to it. You know, because you believe, like, you know, them like
they're chasing in the car during like, that was fun.
That was some insane driving skills though by that kid.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
Well, what else did you like about it? Like what struck chords with you, if anything at all in particular?
Someone said, but before I saw the movie, I saw a tweet that said, Ghostbusters Afterlife feels like an anime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, what does that mean? And then I saw it. And then when we got to the scene where like they find the proton pack and they're testing it out on like bottles, like, oh, I see it. I totally see it. Like it feels like a slice of life Ghibli movie, like a Kiki's Delivery Service or something. Like there's a lot of scenes that are very quiet and very like small. Mm-hmm. And I think it really helped. It really helped drive like the whole point home, and it really helped bring a lot of attention to this is a story. We're rebuilding the Ghostbusters from the ground up. Literally, that's why we're using kits, and kits was the right way to go. Not a reboot, not a restart, not a new Bill Murray. It's just kits discovering that this happened and picking it up. Because they're curious, because they're adventurous, because they're kids. Like this is basically a summer vacation movie.
I agree with you.
And they don't go ghost hunting because they're like, it's the right thing to do. They go ghost hunting because they're like, because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like they don't have a mission. They don't have anything. They're just like, we found a proton pack. I guess we'll just go ghost hunting. Like, why not? And that is so simple. And people forget that kids think like that. And I think it made it like way more wholesome and way more like it simpled it out. And people forget that you can make simple movies. Like not everything needs to be a Tenet or a or super like explore the world, like world building. It could just be like kids are looking for adventure. Kids want to catch ghosts because they just discovered that they can.
Mhm.
Plus, it's the summer in the middle of a nowhere city. Like, what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
You know what you just reminded me of?
But
So I'm like trying to think of parts of the movie that I could like, pick at or be like, well, this like something to criticize. And I'm realizing something. The writing in this movie is really tight. Like the characters never act out of character. The story ultimately doesn't happen to the characters. The characters affect the story. Does that make sense? Like all the rules of writing. This film is really well written. Because again, like every there's cause and effect. This happens because of this. They react and they continue on, and their reaction sparks the next event to happen. Like it makes sense. It almost like it's not following a traditional 3-act structure. It's actually like this happens, this event causes this, so this is the result, and this goes from here. And it's really tight writing, and I appreciate that. Like now that I'm thinking about it, like storytelling wise, it's really tight.
And it makes sense because Reitman, Jason Reitman, at least, like I told you before, his movies are not action movies. They're all mostly they're all dialogue.
Yeah.
Like I said, Juno, Up in the Air, Tully, Thank You for Smoking, Young Adult, Men, Women, and Children. All these movies are very like fitting. Like, have you seen, for example, have you seen Up in the Air?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, so it's him. So yeah, if you remember, like the movie's just George Clooney and Anna Kendrick driving around firing people, and it's just all dialogue. It's just the situations that happen to them, like wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that style was going to clash in this, but the fact that he decided to make it smaller and with kids, I think it really worked.
Acting, the direction, the heart of the film, like there's not much for me to criticize. Like I can't punch down at this movie when there's nothing to punch down at.
That's really not. I want to shout out Carrie Coon, who plays the mom. I think she is so awesome, and I really like seeing her and stuff. And cause like she played the sister in Gone Girl, and I really liked her in that. And then she was really good in Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town. And
okay, I know that one.
Yeah, that one was fun. And then I thought she was gonna blow up because she was in Avengers. She played like the daughter of Thanos, or the sister of them. No, the you know how she has like how Thanos has like these 3 like goons. A big one, a woman, and
the dark
brethren or something.
Something like that.
So she's the one woman in that group. I thought she was gonna like start popping up in all these things, and she hasn't, and she's great. So everyone should hire her for like everything. I think she was in the Post too, but yeah. So when I saw her like as a mom, I was like, fucking great. She's awesome. And she's playing that. Yeah.
No, but like, is she like not considered like a first tier actress, like a lead, or she's typically a supportive actress? She's
typically a supportive. She's been more on like TV and stuff. But I always like her presence. So the fact that she showed up in this one and she played like this kind of weirdly like still rebellious like teen daughter, even though she's like a mom now. And I believed it. Like I like every time that she took a step or like talked, I believed it. And then I loved her chemistry with Paul Rudd. I thought they were both great. And I like that they were both given like the same amount of attention, even though Paul Rudd is like one of the most famous people in the world. And they gave them out that really nice balance. That they let Paul Rudd do his thing, but they also let her kind of work as well. So I liked her. Do you want to talk about the cameos from the original Ghostbusters? Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, you know what? If there's anything that might be able to change that, let me pull them up real quick. If there's anything that can change the direction of the film, I don't know. Did you like the cameos?
I did. I thought they were appropriate. Both the 3 original Ghostbusters and Annie Potts, who played Janine, the secretary. She's the one that shows up at the beginning. And she's like, "Oh, I handled his money and stuff." And And then they ask her like, okay, what did he leave us? They're like, oh, more debt.
Yeah. Oh shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You're even worse shape than before you got here, kids.
Yeah, so she was a secretary in the original Ghostbusters. And she was great. She had a well, her voice was very specific, and she had these great lines. Like you remember her voice because she has such a specific voice. Like she would answer like the phone, and she would be like, "Ghostbusters, what do you want?" Yes, of course they're being serious. Like she was awesome. And then she would hang up and be like, "We got one," and just like click this button. She was great. So the fact that she shows up was kind of cool. I kind of wish she had showed up more, or like it showed up at the end again, because she's a beloved character. But when the three original Ghostbusters shows up and they're dressed up and they're so old, they're so old.
I was gonna say, man, Bill Murray looks ancient.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that it really helped that I watched the original before watching this one, like in the same day, because Bill Murray was beat for beat exactly the same as he was in the original. Like the way that he talked, the way that he delivered his lines, it feels like those 40, 50 years have not passed. Like he still got it. Like weirdly, and like just trust me, this watch the original one, and then when watch what she's seen in this one, it's like no time has passed. So the fact that he could just get back to that immediately was awesome. Dan Aykroyd also good as Ray, and sorry, and then Winston also, like out of the three, he's the one that seemed like aged the least. But yeah, the three of them are great, and then the fact that they got to like stand the three of them, and then McKenna Grace next to them with like Egon like a spirit like right behind her. Yeah. That was cute. That is how the movie needed to end. Like it couldn't have ended a different way, honestly.
Well, see, I got worried. So during Avengers Endgame, I was gonna be pissed if Carol just came down and got the win by herself. Remember when she?
Why?
Because this isn't her movie. And when they do Avengers 7 and like she's like been built up, she can get the win like that. Like I don't like it when someone just shows up and the victory happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's like this like Joss Whedon, like the Joss Whedon version, like how Superman just shows up and they win.
Yeah.
Like okay, not looking back on it, I can criticize it. Why couldn't it be more of a struggle or a team effort? Yeah. When the three showed up, something flared, and I was just like, I swear to God, if they get the win because of these three fuckers that haven't been around. And then Gozar, like I think, like like does the streams and like blast them back. I'm like, good writing, great writing here. And then Gozar, I think she's about to go full power or something. Gozar goes about to go full power, and then McKenna blasts her, and like McKenna's holding it, and like they do this beam fight, and then Spengler? Yeah. Spengler's character like helps her like stay the stream. That I got serious Goku Gohan vibes there. For real. I was just like, oh, okay. And I don't know, I liked it. And then the other Ghostbusters help out and they try to like restrain as best they can until the brother finally does something useful for once in his life. Which I want to talk about actually Gozar's effect. There was one in particular effect that creeped me the fuck out. Yeah. When Gozar was walking across the field, but it was half there and half not there. Like you could see the veins and like the presence. That was scary as fuck. I don't know about you, but that actually was like creepy to me for some reason. Yeah. It helps that Gozar in this one, much like in the original one, it's a practical effect. Like it's a person in makeup. Did you saw who she was? Olivia Wilde, yeah. Olivia Wilde, yeah. So the fact that it's her like in makeup and like in a costume and like you can replicate like really nice movement there, I thought it really helped. I didn't catch that it was Olivia Wilde for a bit, and my sister turned to me. I was like, "That's Olivia Wilde." And I was like, "No, Olivia Wilde." And then creepy effect, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Also, there were a lot of practical effects in this film, which props to them. Like they could have done a lot of CGI, but they didn't. They chose not to. Yeah. God, that's a lot. Yeah, we got that. You want to talk about the Stranger Things kid? Finn Wolfhard plays the older brother. I like that he wasn't the main character. Believable kid. He played a believable, like, douchey older brother. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, he wasn't bad at what they used him for. Yeah.
It was great. Like he has the hair to like look like a Spengler also. Like they have like the similar hair. He was good. I like how they kind of introduced him to be like, oh, like I'm the cool older bro, but no, he's not. He's like I like how they drowned him immediately. Well, or like he tried to get a job at the burger place, and like he likes the girl. The girls, and there was something there that I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I got to see like both sides of that. But I think it's great. I think it's funny how Stranger Things is heavily based on It, and then he was in It, and then in season 2 of Stranger Things, the main boys dress as the Ghostbusters, and now he's in Ghostbusters.
What did they do in season 3? How did they dress? Did they ever do something for season 3?
Nah, they just dressed up for season 2. Like it was just like it's Halloween, so like they dressed up as Ghostbusters. Did you ever see season 2 or what?
I don't recall Stranger Things anywhere near as much as other people do. Like, damn. I know it's like a huge franchise for some people, just not for me.
It's great, but like there's this great scene where like the main boys are like dressed as like straight as like Ghostbusters, and all of them want to be Bill Murray. They're like, no, I'm Bill Murray, and then he fights with Lucas, the other kid. And he's like, no, you have to be Winston. He's like, why do I have to be Winston? And they're like, because say it. Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. So it's funny. So it's good. But yeah, I just find it funny that like he just keeps popping up on like this show while referencing other things, and now he shows up on the other things. It's great. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot to criticize it. I went to this movie thinking it's gonna be just Jason Reitman, those Ghostbusters. Sure. I ended up really loving it. Mm-hmm. I think it cracked my top 10. I think I enjoyed it a lot. Probably one of the franchise movies that I really liked this year.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah. Podcast Kid was funny in this one.
Who?
The friend. Her friend.
Oh, Podcast.
Yeah.
He was actually funny. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I'll take him.
No, he was funny. He was good.
I fucking hated those little Stay Puffs. I hated them.
Really?
I find them very irritating.
They're marshmallows.
They look creepy. They always look smiling, even when they're burning or dying.
That was the funny part. How they just kept like.
How do you kill them? Okay, you eat one to replace it.
They're fun. They're okay. I'll let you have it. The original one is just one giant one. Like that's. The Stay Puft Man, and then it's attacking New York, right? Destroying buildings and shit. Yeah, because like
roast his ass. I'm just saying.
No, because like the thing is that Ghost shows up and tells them like, okay, I'm gonna send the destroyer to you. You choose what he looks like, and everyone goes like, okay, empty your minds, don't think about anything. And then the Stay Puft Man shows up, and they're like, Ray, what did you do? And Ray's like, I just tried to think of like the least threatening thing from my childhood, something that would never hurt me. The Stay Puft Man, the Marshmallow Man. And so he shows up, which brings one of my favorite lines from Egon, because they ask him like, Egon, analysis, and he goes, oh God, what was the line? It was something like. Sorry, Venkman, I am terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought. God, I fucking love Egon. Speaking of Egon, I'm so grateful that when his spirit CGI thing shows up, I like that he doesn't talk. Mm-hmm. That I think would have been a little bit disrespectful. But the fact that he's just there, he's just kind of floating, and they just let him go. Like I like that. I prefer that. Still left them with a bunch of depth and a house that doesn't really work. But other than that.
Isn't Bill Murray gonna like step in and help out with the finances?
Fucking hope so.
No, I missed that scene, but apparently at the very end it shows that they actually did take the car back home, and apparently like he was gonna be covering their finances. They were gonna reopen. They were gonna open up shop again, and then they all look at some light starts going off, like the red light that's warning, like, hey, like heads up, we're getting a call or something.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're gonna. Like maybe that's a sequel bait, but I think that tells me maybe they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think it's not a sequel bait. I think this is a one and done kind of thing. I think they just wanted to honor Harold Ramis, and they wanted to like tell like it's like an epilogue. It's like a nice little epilogue. that feels like a one shot. Like it doesn't feel like a big movie because it's not. That's why it's released at this time of the year and not in the summer. I don't know how much COVID had to do with that, but I think, like I said, it works. I did like seeing Sigourney Weaver at the end doing the psychology experiment with Bill Murray, like the one that he was doing in the first Ghostbusters. I like that. Kind of wish she had been more part of the movie because she was such a big presence in the original one. But yeah, she's there. It's cool that she's there. She looks great. Yeah, so I like this movie. I don't have any criticism for it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than the fucking shit that we reviewed last week.
Damn. Okay.
It's amazing. I just want to say it's amazing how we saw such a shitty adaptation of a video game, and then I saw one of the most beautiful adaptations in a video game like the week after. Everyone watch Arcane on Netflix. It's fucking amazing.
You should do a review for it.
I probably should, but I don't do well in solo reviews. I don't love doing solo reviews, so I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Jimmy if he'll do it with me.
How many episodes is it?
Just 9.
Are they like an hour long?
40 minutes.
Let me try to fit it.
All right, dude. You don't need to know anything about League of Legends. I know this because I know nothing about League of Legends, and I enjoy the crap out of that. When I saw that show, this is just a preview of if we do a review on it. When I saw that show, I thought, finally, Into the Spider-Verse was not only amazing, but it was influential. And that's what I wanted Into the Spider-Verse to be, because this show, the animation is kind of similar to the Spider, or at least it took inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse. And oh God, it was a great way to tell a story. And like in such a short clip of episodes, and it's great. It's fucking fantastic. So yeah,
fucking down.
Yeah.
All right.
Final thoughts.
Fun movie, good movie. Was not expecting to actually like it that much. B+.
I agree. I match it. I give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it set out to do something. I think it succeeded, and I think it exceeded expectations. It's a fun movie. It's a fun romp. It's probably the last action movie that we're gonna have. Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, we have one. No, never mind. We have one more.
We have one really good one.
Yeah, before the
Fast
end of the
and Furious 10. I'm kidding.
I had faith.
I'm kidding.
I had faith. Probably the second to last great action movie of the year before we start getting into Oscar season. So that's our review. That was us. That was the Ghostbusters Afterlife. You want to start the ending?
Folks, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out some of our other episodes. They're great, especially when I'm there.
Yeah, especially when you're there. We are available in Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. We do these reviews. Sometimes we do twice a week, especially when we're on time and we don't get drunk at recording hours. Thank you so much for watching us, for listening to us. We'll be here next week to possibly do. You wanted to do OG Spider-Man?
Yeah, if we can. Yeah, I want to do OG Spider-Man.
All right, and next week.
No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home, baby. All right. Can't wait for that. My name was Chema.
I've been Eddie. And this was the
rollback. Signing off with a reminder to order your Christmas presents already, because there's going to be a shortage. So,
Or just give gift cards. Give gift cards. That way people can buy what they actually want instead of, the shit that you think that they want.
If you hate your family.
Damn.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.